Same team as the champ, the reigning world champion Dark. A few other players in that team as well. That pretty nice pickup from them as he left Janair so late last year, thereabouts.
Yeah, contract ended, got picked up by DBG. Apparently it was a done deal before his contract was even over, so...
Wow.
He was, you know, sighted out, figured out, and they wanted him. And DBG, boy, what a team that is. Dark, Cure, Parting, hello? You know,
is anyone paying attention to this?
Yeah.
Can someone stop them from picking up all these players?
Yeah.
Seems a little imbalanced.
Can we balance the teams again, please? Man, it's actually kind of crazy as we kick off into this TVT. Starting up on Ephemeron. And just already, you know, looking to see what happens, it looks like we're going to have no second gases. So we might just see Expand versus Expand, which means it's not 2 Rax Reaper, Maynard!
Oh my god, we did it.
I mean, for me, it's already a victory.
I mean, we have to still cast the game in pre-professional here, but I kind of want to hug Wardy and cry into his shoulder with just happy tears. But it's going to continue, and, you know, just watch this fast expand. I'm getting a little choked up. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. But we're going to see this fast expand here from both players and see what their plans are. You know, TY is the kind of guy that does throw out mech and bio. Both players definitely like to switch between both styles. TY generally more on the mech side of things. He does like to play that style, very similar to Special, as both players just share builds and strategies so often.
I'd actually love to see TY play mech, not necessarily to watch TY play mech, but to watch Cure play bio against his mech. Because Cure has had a couple of different ways of dealing with mech lately, and they are both just absolutely stunning to watch. They're so much fun. We'll talk more about that if it comes to be. For the moment, we do actually have a much later factory here from Cure because he's going for a second Reaper, while TY just goes reactive factory. It's so important right now that TY does not lose his Reaper, because if he does, he is in a world of trouble.
Oh, this is a nice little pick off here for Cure, actually delaying the natural. TY's Reaper and SCV kind of out of position here. Both players the same kind of quote-unquote army. Looks like Cure's actually taking a few more hit points on that Reaper, so TY actually had the shot off there. It's a good trade for him in the end. He does have his command center slowed down, but picking off that Reaper is a nice sigh of relief.
Let's see how far forward this Reaper of TY goes, because the next one is coming from Q, and if that gets the kill... No, I used the SCV too soon.
Too smart.
Yeah, too smart indeed. Q just going a bit too deep there, unfortunately for him. Yes, he's got a Reaper out now, but that's not going to do much else, right? Because now if you kill the Reaper, there's Hellions on the way already. So TY's gotten away with a slightly greedier opening. Factory already finished, starport building, reactor done, reacted Hellions on the way. So it's a nice opening here from TY in the early few minutes of the game. And
he actually, with the reacted Hellions, could go across the map and try and poke the natural of Cure. We could see potentially more damage, but you know, Cure is really quite solid, so not super likely. He's actually switching into Marine production here. He's getting to get another Hellion out, because if you don't, you do leave yourself wide open to counter plays. Speaking of counter plays, we do have a medevac very quickly from TY, an aggressive follow-up.
I kind of like it. You know, your reactor and Hellions, you know your opponent's kind of messed up a little bit early, and maybe it's an opportunity to deal some damage. So I like it. It feels like it gives you a good option, something to mix up. I mean, there's so many different ways to open up in TVT and then end up at the same endpoint of moving into your bio play or your mech play. A fast Cyclone from Cure, and actually from TY as well. We did see some Cyclone mech earlier today between Marin Innovation, and Cyclone Magfield Accelerator openings have become more popular in this matchup. Even playing 4 Cyclones into bio, it's something that can be done.
Yeah, we've seen so many more Cyclones lately. Most Terrans back in the day, well, I guess back in the day is like 2 weeks ago, they would just grab 1 Cyclone, maybe 2, and then go straight into tag production because it just seemed like it made more sense. But those early game Cyclones, these really good Terrans can do so much damage. And speaking of damage, this Reaper getting up in the main base of TY, dancing around those Marines, 2 SCV kills.
Not bad at all. This Reaper will not have the same sort of look. Hellion on the low ground. We'll chase that down pretty easy, but it's a distraction technique, because look what this in the main, where chess really becomes sort of, you know, you can start playing your moves as fast as possible and trying to go as many different ways as you can.
Yeah, TY has his army split up in 2 here, with a Bowler Bio to the left and most of the mech units and the air units to the right side. Cure, everything is in one clump here in the middle of the map, sort of trying to cut TY off on both sides. Obviously, the infrastructure of both Terrans at this point is spread pretty wide, because most of the bases of this map have been taken. This is when drops and multi-prong attacks can be really, really horrifying. Cure is amassing Ravens right now. We thought BCs when we saw that Fusion Core. I mean, he is getting Yamato, so clearly that's the plan eventually. But he's making a lot of Ravens, and that's, you know, the Raven is going to be able to lock down tanks for sure, but outside of that, they're not a great fighting unit anymore.
Yeah, maybe some auto turrets, maybe just helps you really cover the transition through. Q is here, and TY maybe wasn't expecting it. That's an anti-armor missile apiece, and neither player will want to engage in with that on their Marines. If they're painted orange, they're going to drop down dead so quickly. So there's just no interest as Neo Steel Frame comes up. This might be the first game ever where every Terran upgrade gets upgraded, like on both sides, because no one is getting anything right now.
I'm buckled in, Wardy. Bring it on. I want everyone to just sit here and do nothing for the next 20 minutes. We got actually air upgrades kicking in for TY, so he wants to switch further in the air. I mean, starports obviously means that he wants to really put a lot of his eggs into the air basket. I think that makes a lot of sense, especially considering what Cure has open to him. Throwing away some SCVs here to free up some supply is TY, so he can make more army units. Cure's Marines just trying to pick away at a turret there. Free damage wherever you can, always going to be important. Oh, he's dropping the hammer, there it is!
Yeah, he's going to push on foes. It's just a few Marines, but they're going to get a few tanks. There's just a couple tanks in the background that aren't quite covered. At the same time, TY is stabbing into Cure's base. TY drops like 40 supply, and it feels as though Cure has lost barely nothing. I mean, he's rebuilding 8 Vikings, 2 BCs. So that's probably the majority of his rebuild right away. But TY is kind of spent on money already and sitting at 170 supply now.
Yeah, both players have got a bit of a bag, but Cure certainly with the bigger one at the moment. As they're going towards similar upgrades, Cure starting +1 air attack and going for +2 armor. Both players invested a little bit in the mech attack as well, but their tanks have got +2, but they are starting to mostly switch out of tanks. TY throwing in a few more because he just lost a bunch. Whoa, another engagement here. Couple interference matrices on these units with TY also eating an anti-armor missile, so he pulls back, decides not to engage, and both players are making BCs, Wardy.
There's so much going on in these fights as well, right? You've got to think about if you're going to commit Matrix and tanks, maybe do you want to drop an auto turret, making sure anti-armor missile is down. Behind all of that, even the simple things like stimming your Marines is an extra task involved. Wow, it's crazy watching them control this so far. It's only going to get crazier. Viking BC on the way up. They both seem pretty even across the board. Biggest difference is just slightly later ship weapons here from Cure. But I'd even argue maybe that he's had the slightly faster kind of movement in towards Vikings and BCs, so maybe that just offsets it a little bit. As we do see an attempt from TY to get in position on the right, but it doesn't look like that's going anywhere.
Trying to deny the space of Cure on the left as well with the BCs. His Vikings tussling with the Ravens. Much superior Raven count here for Cure. TY, I think, had 1 Raven that he's actually lost. He's decided right now to use 2 Tech Lab starports to replenish those numbers. His BCs basically on a drive-by here, going through the SCV line of Cure. Going to kill quite a few of them as well as Cure's army's out of position and can always tactical jump away when those Marines get under there.
These BCs are fantastic harassing units. They're going to be able to do so much when it comes down to harassing bases that just don't have proper defenses set up. And when you've got every base on your half of the map, you can't be everywhere, and the BCs are so mobile with that jump as well. Oh, it's going to be a jump in. The BCs from Cure will then jump out. It looks as though Cure gets away.
That command center of TY nearly cancelled there. Of course, it's not a massive investment. He does have 3,000 in the bank right now. Cure just spent a lot of his minerals. You know, the bank's kind of switched on their head here with TY now a lot richer than Cure. And again, like, these Ravens are going to be fantastic when he actually commits to a massive engagement, especially against the BCs, as they're a big, easy target to get interference matrices on. But they are just not a great fighting unit anymore at this particular phase of the game. He's still throwing in, or rather TY is throwing in more. Sure going to try and go for a counter drop here, but that's just a handful of turrets.
What is going on? This, like, half of these medevacs have like no health going into this drop to begin with. Oh my god.
You just land the Vikings to get rid of the Marines directly here.
Yeah, I mean, you land the Vikings, they're going to fight this off. I mean, for Cure, it's kind of like, okay, you don't want the Marines, but surely there was some better way, right?
I mean, maybe he's getting frustrated. Maybe he just feels like it's a little bit too static and he doesn't want to have the game go too long against a guy that's this good at that kind of positional late game TVT. He is freeing up supply for more BCs. I feel like Cure has the BC count advantage, but I can't be too sure. Marpu, can you throw up the units tab real quick? Just have a look here at what we've got.
5-4, 6-6 Ravens.
So Cure's about to have the BC lead once the next round pops out.
It's very close across the board.
So
Those
close.
5 BCs are pretty big, right? That is the big difference, and that's what the supply freeing of the Marines going down did. So TY is kind of in a weird spot where he can't really fight in the sky, but at the same time, Cure can't exactly go and punish him anyways, because any fight where you go across the map, well, you can see it's starting to build up right now. The missile turrets are going to be there in numbers, so...
Do you guys miss Brew War? Because this looks like... This looks like Brew War. Got turrets being spammed around, siege tanks slowly siege hopping through the middle of the map here, trying to split that map in half. And TY hasn't got Yamato just yet, but he does have superior upgrades at the moment on that air army. Does make a difference, especially when the army comps look so similar.
Yeah, it looks like it. There's a few extra battle cruisers finishing up from Cure in the main base. So again, they're on the map now. Cure hasn't done as much with its BCs, right? You know, while TY has come across and poked around for harassment, Cure's been pretty calm and collected, just keeping them at home. Not really doing much yet, keeping them with his army. We'll see if that changes now that he's got the number advantage.
This is Sky, Terran, and Mac on the ground. Both players have thrown away their Marines. Cure still has that one medevac, which is basically the flag bearer for the army. She's not too useful right now.
Yeah, that will not do anything at all. Can lift up, what, tanks?
I guess, yes.
Yeah, SCV drop. A couple bits and pieces of reducing. I mean, missile turret's been lost here, right? They're fighting over no man's land. You know, one guy puts the flag down too far forwards, it gets shot. Was that the medevac?
That was it, she's dead.
No.
She served her time. One of the few medevacs to survive the great drop of Cure a few minutes ago. But TY is edging forward, still doing more and more damage. It feels like Cure, apart from, he had a BC run by at like 3 o'clock where he did a little bit of SCV damage and played that command center, but he hasn't actually found any actual damage here, really.
Whoa,
oh, he's going to commit now. That's all the turrets we pull back to.
Yeah, the Mavericks is nice because you stop it from kind of the BCs from teleporting away. The Vikings just commit into turrets to get a few kills, and I kind of understand why. Those BCs were on their own, if you can call being on top of 20 turrets on their own. But it was good enough still for Cure to go in there, get a few kills, and just drain away a little bit of that TY bank, because at the moment they're both mined off the same amount of bases. This is going to come down to a little bit of an efficiency war in the end. Is now all the turrets dropping down. Of course, that's one hell of an efficient way to trade. Vikings and BCs on the top though, Yamaro's lining up, and Cure gets some shots off.
Certainly does, and there is a big BC advantage for Cure. It feels like his army is a lot better. Both players just blanket each other with anti-armor missiles. All the BCs of Cure here stacked up, looking for Yamatos. Each Yamato with a dead unit. Nice trades for Cure, picking off those Vikings.
What's the resources lost at? Because it does feel like, yeah, Cure is trading way better than TY, 2,500 or so. And again, when you've both already got all the bases, that just means if Cure keeps this up right now, TY is going to run out of money. Or he needs to not let this map mine out and the minerals to mine out. He needs to go and take one big fight, which is nigh on impossible with the defensive setups we've got. I do like this because these BCs should pretty much always get out of here unless they get matrixed.
Yeah, certainly right. So they can tactical jump back. The Ravens are here with the army of Cure as well, though it looks like they might be AWOL. Now this is interesting from TY, getting drilling claws and throwing in some Widow Mines. This could be a very big gotcha against the superior air army of Cure.
I like it as well because it stops so much of the movement that Cure would like to do. Right now, BC's going crazy, pushing up that right-hand side, but it gives TY an opening to make some progress on the left. Liberator sieging up, but the Viking count of Cure is scaring the BCs off for the moment, as this is really Cure making a big play. A base of TY goes down, so many missile turrets as well. Madness on the right side of the map.
Did lose a BC to the turret there, but absolutely clean up a lot of TY from the right side of the map. Not too many bases actually being mined from here, and TY is starting to get a little bit mineral starved. Sub 400 minerals right now for the Red Terran, with Cure still over 1,000 minerals, but that's starting to dry up too. It's really important to fight over these like external bases that are right on the edge of the map.
This is where Ravens are really good as well, right? Because they're so gas heavy that then, you know, you spend less minerals, you can get better trades perhaps, use up all of your gas, because a lot of the minerals are just going to the masses of static defense, which are the missile turrets, etc. And that's kind of the issue. If all your minerals go into missile turrets, then you can't build an army anymore. It's something to keep in mind here throughout the course of the game as it continues to play out, approaching the 25-minute marker, and these guys are not going anywhere.
Yeah, this is still not done. We're a ways away. This is a very cool tech shift from TY, just using that tactical mine of his to try and find an edge. Gonna lose a few tanks here, but he is maxed out, so gonna use that supply to try and get a few more air units here, and also a couple more Widow Mines. Tanks do have utility. He's pushing back turrets, he's pushing back sense towers, but really they start to fall off as we're going straight to the skies and everything on the ground is about to disappear.
Yeah, a couple extra Widow Mines obviously being brought in, like we mentioned before. Those are really going to have a role to play because they are a turning point in this match potentially. If, you know, they get the shots off, if they get a clumped up set of Vikings, it can turn everything around. So they're definitely ones to watch out for as TY makes a play around the right side of the map. Cure is kind of back home defensive, so this shouldn't be too difficult for him to deal with. Those BCs are close enough to come and fight this off.
Oh, the tanks are being blanketed with mines here, and Cure, I mean, the Ravens obviously have detection, so TY trying to get a nice catch here on those Vikings as he moves the mines a little bit closer. It's like a couple of shots going to go off on those tanks there, just not exactly what he wants. He wants the air units, so they do clump up in StarCraft 2. They can stack so nicely there for splash damage.
Q even reinvesting in a couple of siege tanks maybe just to help clean out Widow Mine areas. Definitely something worth thinking about.
I think Cure agrees with you, man. Squeezing out another couple tanks here with that extra bit of supply, extra bit of cash. Cure still swimming in it at the moment. He's like Scrooge McDuck in his vault right now compared to TY. Lots of money.
Yeah, he is that little bit richer, right? And that just comes from the efficiency throughout the game, but there's the Yamatos and That's 3 more siege tanks, and again, not doing much. And look at that efficiency, by the way. When we last looked at it, 2,500. Now, over 4,000 resource loss difference. So Kua is still trading more efficiently, and TUI has to start changing that ASAP or making something happen. Otherwise, Kua, this map's mined out 15 minutes from now, and then it's all about Kua if he's been trading like this.
Yeah, I mean, when you have Yamatos and Tactical Jump, the BC really can just trade for days. Cure absolutely been doing that in this game to very great effect. TY still just posturing on the right-hand side, looking for any angle here. Big mistake from either player could actually just potentially end the game. As long as we have been watching, it's been 26.5 minutes of TVT action.
It has indeed one of the longer games of the entire week here. Is look at the unit count here, 18 BCs to the 11, but TY has more Ravens. So a lot of utility available there. Anti-armor missiles, matrices can be important. Looks like one of them just went down. Of course, remember those Widow Mines on the ground as well from TY. So he has advantages. One of the things the Widow Mines should stop from happening is you shouldn't be able to kind of teleport into this army if the Widow Mines are there ever. So that's something to keep in mind, that Kua probably can't go like hyper-aggressive at any point.
Well, that's something you want to do when you're a Terran and a TVT, when you have the BC advantage, right? Like, you want a tactical jump on their BCs because you have more, then you blanket Yamatos and you just take everything apart. You just got more units. The Widow Mines, you're absolutely right, do mitigate that strategy completely.
This missile turret warfare on the right-hand side of the map. One guy loses one, the other guy sets another up. Couple tanks pressing forwards as well as those missile turrets go down. And again, these siege tanks continue to reach out over to the right side of the map. And this is, again, a big kind of contention point because this is the base TY lost a couple times already. If you lose that again, when it's coming down to being one of your final bases remaining, again, it's not that serious or dire just yet, but it's getting there. It is an issue. You need to keep that alive, and right now, Kua has the position to deny it. Maybe TY can do the same to the 9 o'clock.
Yeah, he's got the 1 tank here on the left side. TY down to 2 tanks now with Kua sporting 5. Both players similar Viking counts, but 18 BCs against 12, and 6 more BCs is such a huge advantage. 10 Widow Mines for TY. So he's just going to go on the left-hand side. He's actually committing most of the forces, at least where all of his rich, like, expensive army is on the left side, letting the right sort of alone for now, not putting too much in there to invest. Seeing those Widow Mines forward, trying to catch anything, but you don't really want to lose those for free.
Problem is here, right? It's such little investment from Kua because it's just a couple of tanks, really. And that means that you're not investing a huge amount to deny there, so it's not like Kua's out of position on the left side either. One tank here is being attacked by the SCV.
I mean, the SCV will get jobber down eventually. We'll check on it in a few minutes.
Set the stopwatch off, see how long it takes. There's a few auto turrets dropping down, Kua getting a little bit afraid. Remember, he doesn't have a lot of those because he's only working on the 2 Ravens, so he only has about 8 or so banked up at a time in comparison to TY. You can drop so many more. And of course, if you're dropping those auto turrets, you lose the utility elsewhere. TY spending money repairing the command center on the right side, trying to keep that position alive as we continue to fly around the center. As the SCV is still doing well there. SCV's getting an idea on the left side. They're going to try and help out on the right unsuccessfully.
Yeah, they're not a great fighting unit, unfortunately. Oh no, he didn't get the job done. Feels bad, man. He tried so hard, got so far, but in the end, you know how it goes. Ah, man, I mean, I get a little bit worried for both players here and how the engagement goes. I'm trying to picture it in my head. 7 Ravens means 14 disabled BCs if they all get an interference matrix off.
That's true. I mean, what I'm worried about is how do you cast so many spells in such a short time.
Rapid fire, what do you?
You want a matrix, you want to drop down auto turrets maybe. It's very, very tough. As a couple anti-armor missiles go down, there goes another Raven of TY. Another expensive unit to replace. Obviously, TY's cut quite a lot of SCVs lately, lost them. And that means that his army supply opens up a little bit large. He's, what, 7 SCVs behind, so he'll be 7 army supply ahead. Again, very minor differences as Widow Mines going off on SCVs here as well. I mean, this is so intense because one moment where the fight initiates and you're out of position, you're in the wrong spot, and this goes so very wrong for you.
Absolutely right. That's the thing with this army, is it's so explosive that when they actually do fight, it will end extremely quickly.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
So much damage
with those Widow Mines in there, right? A couple tanks getting in position. He's going to auto turret for the Widow Mines. He kind of knows that there. He is going to get the auto turret down. He will push these Widow Mines back. Only manages to kill one, which is less than I expected. The Widow Mines might just try and... I mean, they could maybe try and suicide run under the BCs if the BCs are distracted fighting something else at the same time already.
Yeah, these Widow Mines are on the hunt, man, and Cure is really respecting them. Won't let them get anywhere near his stacked up air army. TY is carving himself a bit of a path through the middle of the map here and leapfrogging his tanks forward with the Widow Mines. Yamato here going to pick off one of those tanks.
Widow Mine goes off though, as you're going to see an anti-armor missile dropping from the side of Q as to TY. Painted orange back and away for a moment, still has the Widow Mines to help him zone. Really inserting himself towards the base of Kua here, yet still isn't mining the right side base. So again, he's missing a base that eventually he needs, and that means Kua is mining a lot more right now. Yeah, sure, in the end, Kua's going to mine out faster, but if TY never gets that base back, it's money he'll never have to work with and never be able to build into an army.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's not too many mining bases here. But TY still has this command center that he could float a little bit further to the south and a few more SCVs to work on it too. So there, you know, it could be mined from in a second here. Kua does have a tank sort of covering it at the moment.
Yeah, it's just crazy, right? A little bits and pieces here and there. Those tanks were still around on that right-hand side. They get shut down, but maybe this opens an opportunity. This is somewhere we don't have a lot of turrets around, as those Widow Mines, I don't believe they're on cooldown, right? They're on anti-armor missile. That's something we've got to remember as well, because they have the same bar that shares that animation.
Yeah. What a wild game, man. So TY is going to try this base one more time. I think he's lost it a few times in this game, but he's going to get it back for the second or third time now. And both players once again maxing out with BCs. TY still with the Raven advantage. 8 or so down to 6. Another tank from Cure, and that's really all he needs here with the BCs sort of being the big swole cousins of the siege tank, just in case TY does want to commit. He's mining out of gas absolutely everywhere when Cure is eating up the map of resources.
But I mean, it's all in his bank, right? It's not like he's used it up already, so that's the big difference, because TY is also going to be in a similar position soon. You know, again, the left and right base, I keep harping on about it, but it's so very true. Those are the bases that are going to make the difference in the gas counts, and eventually the difference in how much each of these players can rebuild. And right now, Kua can rebuild so much more than TY can. And as long as that stays the case, I'm a big fan of this for Kua. Of course, the fight can go dreadfully for him, but that's something we just have to wait and see if it happens. There's more Ravens on the way in from TY. Kua opts for more battle cruisers. Yeah. And it's just so difficult to choose an engagement here.
In this kind of situation, if say the fight happens and it goes really well for TY, could Cure, even with his bank, could potentially be dead. It depends on how the engagement. If they trade, then not really TY won't be the one that can recover. Cure will. He'll be able to get that army back up again.
Exactly, and that's why it's bad for TY, because TY has the pressure on, not to just take a fight, but to obliterate Cure's army. He absolutely needs to win so heavily that Q has no chance to rebuild, and finally he denies this space, but the difference in what's being mined... Hey! Q is mining TY's base! Don't do... Q! That's out of control.
Jeez.
So, but, you know, I thought...
What a greedy boy.
I thought these guys had an agreement, you know? That's my side, that's your side. No rush, 45 minutes or so.
I guess not. Turns out we're in a 1v1 war game, Wardy, and there are no friends in StarCraft 2.
Turns out there will be fights happening, okay. I mean, if Q mines even a little bit from there, right? It's just exemplifying or kind of personifying the point that it is just such a big deal where TY is not mining as much as Q is. And Q's bank is so high. Yeah, this is... I mean, we just got to wait for the fight and see if TY can make it happen.
It feels like both players have been sitting there, but I've been watching the map, and both players have actually been very, very active with their armies the whole time. These guys are still probably 200, 300 APM, moving units around the map while still, you know, saturating and trying to keep their economies as efficient as possible. It looks slow, but it is fast, and there you go. So TY slowing down a little bit down to 200. Cure still nearly 400 APM as he floats these army units around.
I mean, because you've got to be so active, right? There's a couple units here, a couple units there, because those are the things that break open these positions. They give you the opportunities to strike, and that's exactly what they're looking for. If you start being lazy and you start dropping down, you sit back, it kind of gives the other guy the chance to get on the map, to take these positions, to take control, to mine more. As TY is just going to give up some of the final SCVs that he has, so he's going to go down to, what, 9 workers here? And he's very soon going to be maxed out on almost purely army.
That seems to be the plan here for TY. Secure with 26 SCVs. It feels like Cure is the one that should be throwing away SCVs here because of his bag. TY losing those units does mean he has a big army, but like we've mentioned before, the pressure is on TY to take a really, really good fight. So if he has anything less, this game will not go his way. I
guess he goes soon, right? He's killed off a few extra SCVs to get a few extra units. He has to force it sometime soon. I mean, yeah, okay, you're going to hit this plant tree, you'll take it down, but even the few extra minerals already mined, it makes the difference. A few matrices coming down from the side of Cure. He only has 2 Ravens, so now his Ravens pretty low on energy, and maybe that makes it tough for him to do something else. TY gets an insta-kill on the CC there again. As Cure still will not commit into the fight, he will not be baited forward.
Cure looks like he wants to fight here. He gets another anti-armor missile. The Vikings got a little bit of a shot off there at TY with the tactical jump. Is definitely afraid of that Viking volley. Obviously, the upgrades have been rounded out for both players. 3-3 on all these air units, 3-3 on all the ground units. Or rather, 3-3 on the ground units secure, just +2 attack for TY.
Yeah, actually missing that mech upgrade might have made a bigger deal, I guess, if there was more tanks earlier. But he did swap into the faster air upgrades, I guess, to try and take an advantage early, and obviously we never really saw that coming through. Another tank sieges out to the left here from TY. Starts to get a shot or two off, nice Matrix, and that will be a bit of a fight. We don't mind trying to get in position. I mean, it's crazy, right? Just these little fights happening. 6,000 resource loss difference. Q with 5k more minerals, 6k more gas in the bank. I mean, just ridiculous number, 7k more gas in the bank even, trying to do math. I mean, after a game like this, it's not easy.
I mean, it'd be cool to break this replay down and just spend 3 hours combing it through with all you analysts out there, but we still have the job to do, as it looks like the fight might be kicking in. Anti-armor missile on the BCs there for both players. TY trying to split his units, but they both eat quite a bit of damage there, or rather they eat quite a bit of the debuff there. Still 10 Ravens for TY, so if Cure commits, he has to be extremely careful.
Yeah, this is what it comes down to. TY knows he has to fight sooner rather than later. He can't build up any more army. He's already thrown away so many SCVs. A couple of Immortals being traded, but it is Q again, all of the initial hits here. As TY will take down a base. I mean, he's positioned himself in an awkward, interesting spot. And now we'll see if he can get out of it and make something happen. Because, yeah, the BCs can teleport out. His Vikings and Ravens can't, though.
I think TY is deliberately letting these SCVs live as well, because he doesn't want Q to have more armor supply.
I mean, it's true, right? You know, you let him kill, you kill 12 SCVs and suddenly he can build 2 more BCs. You don't want that. Exactly. You want him to have useless SCVs fighting a missile turret in the middle of the map. As this fight continues down the bottom side.
Those command centers are getting deleted.
Were they even in the game? What do they make these out of nowadays? Paper?
Oh man, origami command centers. I didn't know that skin was in the game. Anti-armor there and a cluster of BCs. Decent splits from TY. Oh, that's a big chunk of BCs down there. I think TY wants to fight.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to start going for your model. What's going on? Interference matrices everywhere as this is it, Maynard.
I think TY is actually winning this fight, dude. It's actually so close, though. The BCs of Cure, so many of them got locked down. TY's army supply and Cure is still similar, but it's actually so crazy. A lot of Cure's army supply is in production. It's 10 BCs against 3. It's 4 BCs and 8 Vikings on the way, and Thor's TY's fight, the fight he wanted. I think he just got it.
I think he got it, but you know what? He has to keep going right now. If he doesn't end this game, Cure is going to rebuild, and that is going to become the issue. Cure has spent all of his money. He had 8,000 minerals that have just gone, and as you can see right now, TY jumps in. Cure is trying to fight, jumps the Vikings back up. More coming. He's building Marines!
That's not going to help him out too much against these 3-3 BCs. They are so damaged, though, and the turrets are softening up. TY just parking on top of this production here. Cure kind of smacked back here. Mass mule from TY. Not for manners, for repairs. Don't get too excited. He wants these BCs to be healthy as he sits on top of that production. Anything that pops out is going to be hit by the BCs. The Thor's anti-air is actually so sick here from Cure.
The Thors are killing so freaking much. More BCs though, reinforcing in. Here comes Cure coming in from the top side as well. Yamada can't stop dropping down once again. And TY's supply is dropping. The Vikings come back in the skies. The Thors are dead. BC after BC drops, however, and it looks as though Cure might just about hold on. He will. GG.
Unbelievable. Man, that game went for 27 minutes.
Doing a good amount to put him into the lead.
Yeah, Cure is absolutely not dead here. He could fight back, but he still doesn't have enough units to directly fight this army of TY. The Hellions fantastic. These Marines are great. You know, 2 Hellions, 2 Reapers. That looks a little bit better here for Cure. TY realizes that as well. Pulls back, lets his Reapers heal up. But they are going to be a consistent thorn in the side of Cure as they're all still alive.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see, this Rack's going to be floating around. Going to go for a little bit of scouting here as well. So going to go see what is up and what is happening. CC finishing up on the natural expansion. Going to start morphing into an orbital, of course. And we get into this next stage of the game. Now, biggest thing to take note of, I think, is the fact that TY's factory is going to be so much later.
Yeah, true that. It looks like Cure just trying to go for the Raven follow-up here after the Reaper Hellion opening. And he did actually get the Cloak Banshee here, which I think is a great call. That's something that's going to be tough. Whenever you have a guy that proxies Reapers against you, one of the strongest things you can do is go into the Banshee. This is actually a Raven and Cloak at the moment.
I wouldn't. So it feels like just a fake out on the Cloak, but you make a really good point, because if he's proxied Reapers, or even if he plays like 2 Racks Reaper in the main, you don't have the Factory as fast, you don't have the Starport as fast, and those tools which make Cloak Banshees less popular nowadays aren't on the field. So it's actually a good idea. I think it's a really good fake as well for that exact reason, that Banshees would be good in this scenario.
And we do have the Cyclone kicking in for both players as Cure starts that third CC very quickly. Really wants that economy beasting out of control here. TY also. His natural is about to finish up, or rather his natural's finish up. His third is about to finish up inside of his main, being very greedy as this follow-up.
TY going to go for a Raven of his own, it would seem. Tech Lab on there, and there's the Mac field from TY too. So he's going to start building into the Cyclones here, which again is this new sort of meta thing that we've been seeing, especially out of Korea. We'll see what he does with it. Like I said, I'm not sure how popular it still is to go like 4 Cyclones into Bio, but it is possible. It doesn't necessarily mean just Mech. He's actually going to cancel Mag Field, so not going to go into any Cyclone-based shenanigans, changing his mind.
Yeah, TY maybe getting a little bit indecisive here, or maybe just seeing what he's seen from Cure. He's decided that there is a better path for his build. He's going to drop that second gas down there in the naturals. He's got up to 4 gases in total. Really haven't seen that extra bit of production. We know that Cure is going Bio. He started Stim. TY hasn't shown us just yet what he's going for.
No, not just yet. As the Stim Pack starts up from Q, obviously that's the best part of this right now. His bio is going to be on the map quickly. He's got an extra barracks already. 4th gas from TY, but 2nd engineering base. That pretty much does sort of say bio, unless he's making a bit of a mistake. So yeah, it looks like he'll play bio just a little bit later on here. Still just building, I mean, 3rd Raven now, 2nd Raven on the way up right now. So just building into that. I mean, still has the Reapers from earlier, so actually has quite a strong pushing Grand Force.
He starts +1 before he even has a Tech Lab on a barracks here. Really interesting round out for TY.
Not your normal everyday sort of way
Absolutely not.
Open into bio. It really isn't. So, I mean, I get what's going on, right? He's keeping the racks on the reactor, which maybe gives him more potential to push. Right now, we've got this push coming in, and if you Matrix this tank, right, a few Cyclones, Reapers, this is in trouble.
There's no Stim here for Cure. If it was done, it'd look a lot more convincing.
HP, and they can't heal right now, and Cure is slowly pushing his way into what could be a victory-gaining position. There's a couple Marines over here, but they're going to be easily dealt with, as Cure now liberating up this ramp. TY smartly, I think, expands to the left and counterattacks, because he's not breaking this position. A counterattack is one thing he can do that might cause enough chaos to get him back in the game.
Cure keeps taking good fights here and there. They're both still close to max, so there is still a big army on both sides, but certainly Cure with a big army advantage. TY with a big move up here, a big Hail Mary Stim into that 3rd base. He does pick it off, and there were a ton of SCVs there. Loading up those medevacs and going for the main. This is the kind of comeback that TY is going to have to need a bit, pay off big time here. Not just a bit of damage, he needs way more damage.
Oh no, all those Marines are so low as Cure comes in, takes those down. Yes, the drop is in the main. That will be what Cure has to go and deal with next. At the same time, he's got Libs and Vikings and tanks still pushing this base of TY. So TY's in trouble too, but he's now taking down 2 of the 3 orbital commands.
This game's getting wild. TY does have high ground tanks that Cure cannot commit to. Oh my god! Cure losing a ton of Marines right there.
Wow, that was brutal. A bunch going down in one big deadly volley. Yeah, both these players at this point are losing a lot. Look at Cure's supply block, so he can't actually rebuild with the money he's got. He's stuck.
What has happened in this game, Wardy? Locking down the tanks. TY going to get the cleanup as well.
Oh, this is so expensive. 2 Liberators going down, all the siege tanks as well. Cure has to back away, and somehow, someway, TY is making it work off of such a terrible position. He's finally going to make, say clean up in the main, but he's probably just going to force a lift and leave. And there it is. TY will try and get out of there. Cure will not get the kills on the full medevacs. If he can, that's amazing, because that 16 supply difference evens up the game at this moment in time.
TY's economic situation has been absolutely abysmal, but the army movements, the big YOLO plays, these Hail Marys are actually paying off for it. He's going on top of some long-distance mining SCVs, picking up a tank here. Any edge like that is fantastic for TY, as he does have a very similar army supply at the moment. Oh, Cure going to collapse on him and make sure that this is a one-way trip, but TY using this opportunity to get those tanks in range of this planetary one more time.
Coming all the way up to the top side, tanks will begin to siege. Planetary Core is going to take some damage, and this time Cure is not in position to help deal with this. And now he might lose this base. He has one more orbital off to the side there, but this is really important mining being lost, and obviously TY relocated an orbital on that 9 o'clock base, and he's getting that low ground initial 4th base he tried to take way back in the game, up and running now too.
Cure with the bigger army, but TY's movements with what he has. He's been squeezing every single drop that he can get out of these units. And he needs to keep up this kind of momentum as Cure is an absolute monster. All this mineral bank of TY has been spent basically on making tons of Marines, and the bio has been working out for him so far. Couple tanks here going to be picked off by the landed Vikings. Nice move from Cure. Obviously making sure the tank count is really low does mean that Cure can just overrun during an engagement.
Yeah, absolutely. And at this stage, Cure is really looking to try and do something, right? Because, yeah, you're re-expanding, etc., but TY has done so much to you. You need to, I think, get some damage on yourself, but TY is like a step ahead. And because it's been such a crazy game, there's barely any sense towers up until just now, and that's something Cure needed to stop TY doing what he just did for the last couple minutes.
I feel like Cure's army is better. TY does have a Raven advantage just like last game. Loses a couple, but still 5 against 1.
Oh, Cure, one set.
I don't know about this one. Cure, he's stemming those Marines forward. He actually does get through that Marine front line, so the tanks are exposed.
What a call from Cure. That's not a fight you take every day of the week, but he says he's going to take it this time. Now TY feels the need to deal some damage, but you know what? There's so many tanks.
The high ground tanks just get rid of everything there at TY. He goes for the drop, locking down a couple of them there with the first matrices. He actually does drop on top of Cure's tanks. He wins the engagement in the end, but down to the south side, Cure still has a lot of units. He's pulling some back, but definitely wants to go for the counterattack here on a very exposed orbital of TY.
He needs to get a couple of bases at least, because right now he is barely mining anything at all. Even his third base is mining out, so Cure must deal damage. The problem is it looks like TY has the reinforcements to deal with this on the bottom of the map. As Cure pushes in on the top, even that looks a little bit unlikely to work out, as there is Cure coming in the bottom side, but he's getting flanked in. These Marines spreading out. TY will not fight into the tanks, but he doesn't need to just yet give up this base. He's still mining off the 9 o'clock, something Cure doesn't have right now.
Almost 20 minutes into this game, and these players got barely 3 bases mining because the amount of damage there's been. As we can see, TY with the income advantage and has had it for a while. This is a very low econ game, but TY taking a big supply lead. He's up 50 supply right now, Wardy, and that is in army, which is the one that matters in the end. As Cure has a nice position here, continuing to deny a little bit more mineral patches, and he moves in on the reinforcements to TY, looking to cut them off.
Yeah, TY has just got the numbers advantage now, and it becomes so difficult for Cure to do anything about it. He's not mining anything to really start rebuilding. His units are stuck on the map, and TY is fine with that, because as far as TY is concerned, they are dead. It just depends on when he decides to kill them, right? And he's just waiting because he can deal more damage, or he can get rid of them more efficiently, basically. Yeah, TY is just playing with Cure at this point almost, right? He just knows he's got him locked down in position where he wants him to be. He's mass expanding again, and Cure is in so much trouble. What a turnaround from TY, a game where it looked like he was truly in so much trouble. He was on his last legs, he was barely able to get a base mining, and just a set of plays that completely ripped Cure apart.
TY has got this game in the bag, picking up those tanks. The orbital's going to go down, as does the lifeline of Cure. GG! And we're going to go to a game 3 to see which one of these Terrans locks in their spot for Group D.
Man, look at Cure. Well, we're looking at TY now, but if you're looking at Cure, he's slow the CC. So if Cure was going one gas, he basically would have come in and be like, oh no, pulled his SCV from the low ground, get ready to build bunkers, start a factory. And then you see them unit structures a little bit later, and it's like, oh, and you've delayed the CC, you've delayed your eco advantage.
TY trying to come on in here and pick up that SCV. Cure waiting for him at the south side, going to pick off one of TY's Reapers. A good scuffle for Cure. He does pick off a few of those units, which means that basically he doesn't have to be too afraid of a follow-up from TY. It does slow down his command center, though, as TY's natural is going to finish up a fair bit faster.
Yeah, the CC timing is nice, but it was an SCV for an SCV, of course. As obviously, I mean, it was kind of weird because TY kind of let his Reapers just stay there lined up for the Hellion to get like the mega shot off.
Yeah, a little weird.
So just felt like that was a little bit off. I was really expecting him to back away after getting the SCV, or if he was going to dive, like split up and really dive to get a Hellion kill advantage or something, but that wasn't there. So yeah, a little bit unlike TY as he goes into a Liberator. A good unit in TVT to kind of, you know, if you're distracting at the front and taking attention of Marines, the Cyclone, then the Liberator and the main base can be so difficult to deal with sometimes.
Cure's been the more standard Terran, I guess, quote-unquote, between the two players, with TY kind of showing us a different build every single game. He's very much a tactical, build-ordery, focused Terran. You know, the Liberator is something that he hasn't thrown out in the beginning of the game just yet, so looking to get some early game harassment here while holding on back at home with Marines and Siege Tanks. Very hard to break for Cure.
Yeah. It's actually just very standard opens, really, like a little bit of this here, a little bit of that there, both of them going to 3 gases, which suggests the idea of wanting a Raven. TY will start a medevac though, and you know, 4 Marines and a tank. You can actually, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can go with like 4 Marines and a tank in one drop, and then the next drop brings another 4 Marines and another tank along. But if I'm not mistaken, he just cancelled the medevac and decided for Raven instead. So whatever he says, he just says, okay, I'll go Raven now. And that basically means he's down a Raven, but at least he is building a Raven, which is always great, and he's just going to go for the straight-up ground attack right now, TY.
I mean, I kind of expected it, because I feel like when you send out a Raven, especially, or rather a Liberator, especially at this level, you got to be doing something somewhere else to try and take the attention away from your opponent so that at least one side does damage.
No, it's totally true, right? You absolutely want that Liberator to come out and do... Like, a Liberator getting this level of play does nothing if it's on its own, right? So you need something else, and yeah, the Marine tank push is absolutely that. Get forwards a little bit, start a siege, be a little bit of a threat here, take the attention away from the main, and that's where the real damage may be done. He's actually going to bring the Liberator around, maybe feel some opportunity to just straight up push with this and start sieging up and pushing tanks back. There's that opportunity.
Couple Cyclones here, but if they come forward for the Liberator, the tanks will just shoot them down.
Yeah. One goes down, and then the lock-on in the Matrix.
The Unsiege didn't time.
Yeah, the Unsiege was good. That was nice, because you get a free Cyclone here, basically, and there is an SCV in this army, which is actually going to start healing up the Liberator. Yep,
the Liberator going to get his health back. Raven coming forward for TY. He is down a Raven, of course, but these 2 Ravens of Cure, basically one of them has that lockdown available. He can get an Interference Matrix. It goes for it on the Liberator again. This time the Liberator can't unsiege, so the Cyclone wants it.
Oh, it gets it as well. The tanks were just a little bit out of range from that Cyclone. It took the first shot from the Liberator too, but obviously the Matrix is there in time to stop a second as TY. It's just so frustrating from Cure's perspective right now, right? Because you're like, oh, I've got to constantly deal with what he might do at the front. And this is obviously great auto turret in the main base, but tank already on the way over to deal with it. It's only going to be a couple SCV kills.
And every edge matters at this level, though, as TY's got a much quicker third base here. It's much further along than Cure's. It's in the main. Cure's is also in the main. So very nice sort of poke from TY. Oh, picking another angle here. He's actually in range of a couple of these structures, which looks weird because of the isometric camera here of StarCraft 2, but he is in range of these 2 depots.
That's really nice, because when you're on the map, this is exactly what you want. Look for opportunities, take advantages, and that's what he's got here. Q is a little bit supply blocked as the Cyclone gets a lock on and Raven taking some damage.
Good scuffles here from TY. I mean, he doesn't really have stim, he doesn't really have medevacs, all this sort of micro utility you have for a bio army in TVT, but still finding good scuffles. The lockdowns on these tanks, though, from Cure, and a superior Marine count on that high ground is going to take this battle. This is actually a rough trade for Cure as the dust settles, my god.
Yeah, the final tank shots when they came out of Matrix, etc., started to do a lot, and obviously Cure wasn't having his own tanks fighting there as well. Vikings showing up. Man, I mean, TY lost his Ravens, right? But I feel like the Ravens of Cure are in a little bit of danger as well, as TY's still rallying across the map. The problem is for TY. He's got a third base, but again, the extra production is very late here. Cure's just that little bit faster, a little bit better off. Actually, I apologize, sorry, TY actually does have 2 more racks already. It's just the building structures from behind the back was a little bit different, so okay, he's not as bad off as I thought he was.
Well, we do still have that scuffle at the front, a Viking advantage for TY. A couple of those hurt Vikings, and the tanks actually at the bottom side for Cure, using high ground as he's outside of scan radius to pick off that one tank, which he does get, by the way. Both these players are so insanely good, Wardy.
Man, they're just like, it's just like, you've got like a big fight going on, Cure's just thinking, if this is happening here, I can go kill that tank on the bottom, because I know he doesn't have high ground. What a decision that is to make on the fly. Such crazy, quick decision-making being made between the 2 of them. As Cure, for the moment, is, again, continuing to hold on. I love the fact he's got 1-1 on the way instead of just +1. Looks like that's actually a mistake from TY not getting +1 armor.
Yeah, definitely intended to have 1-1 there.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's something that's going to cost him heavily. And sure, TY's got the faster third base. We'll see if that's enough to offset the missing armor upgrade.
Got a Raven pick off there, that's always nice. I mean, the armor upgrade didn't let him lose that last game, Wardy, where he was down an armor upgrade the whole game, but we'll see. Viking getting interference matrix there and push back. Cure finally getting a bit more of an air army. But TY, he's been in his face all game long for the past few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see 1-1 about to finish up here.
Oh, that's a rough scan for Cure. It's just like, oh no.
Yeah. it's rough because you don't have that third base, so now TY really is starting to mine more, so that economy advantage is starting to come into the army supplies. And if that happens, obviously you get into this really tough spot as Raven's going down from Cure too, and that was one of the things he really had in his favor. So losing out on those, and TY, it just feels like every little thing comes a bit more into his favor every time these 2 have a little bit of a scuffle on the map.
Yeah, this looks like advantage TY right now, obviously up in supply, but also that extra bit of mining. He's got a bigger army as well. I mean, the upgrade situation isn't brilliant, but he does have the armory on the way. That's not here for Cure.
Oh my god!
Cure getting a bit impatient here.
Tank for a tank in the end. That looked like it was going to be so much worse for one way or the other. I wasn't sure which. But Cure's the one that I'm kind of scared about because it feels like he could be about to die if he just loses one tank too many and TY's like, okay, I can go, jump on this.
Big army supply advantage for TY, and I think he still doesn't... I mean, I know he doesn't want this third to land, and I think he can actually continue to delay it here, Wardy. This army is quite scary. I think Cure just scanned it and saw it, though.
Yeah, it looks like it, as you do see this army of TY trying to get in position again, but Cure very well prepared. That information is so vital right now. You need to know where TY is at all points. Cure's going to breathe a sigh of relief because for once he's finally got the third base down, and that's something he's been fighting for a long time. And it's just going to give him that equalized economy.
He's supply blocked on 133. This is a big supply block from Cure. Yeah, unfortunate macro there.
Yeah, I mean, just little mistakes when you get thrown off your game. Those things happen more often as well. And so, while it is an unforced error, it's still those things where it's just like, oh my god, I've just been so caught up, get my third base, I'm finally happy. And it's like, oh my god, I shouldn't have been taking a moment to be happy. Shouldn't have been macroing.
Well, during that time, he fell behind another 15, 17 supply as another macro round comes out for TY. His macro pretty sound here. He's up almost, well, just over 30 army supply, down a little bit in workers as he starts to pressure the third. No real air army here for TY. I'm wondering where it is. Maybe he just got destroyed earlier.
Yeah, he had a couple of Vikings, right? And he still does have 5, so they are around back at home.
Okay.
Not bringing them across the map. Maybe because, again, he's not really over... I say he's not over looking for something, but he is, like, dropping a tank to the other side there to try and hit the mineral line. I guess in the idea of just, like, he's just positioned. He's looking to see what's open for him to do, right? And the answer to that right now is, quite frankly, there's not that much for him to do. He's being kind of defended in every front, but this way you just take a fourth base, and that's exactly what he'll do. Fourth base in location compared to Q. He'll have to float his out, slight delay there, and just building up into 2-2. There's going to be a lead on that in the end, so that +1 armor didn't hurt him.
Now, I understand why the Vikings are home here, because I think one of the biggest plays from Cure, and TY's got a big sexy brain so he knows all about it, is to actually load up a couple of medevacs and go across the map and try and hit a base, run by into mineral lines, potentially jump into the main and grabbing on the production if you're feeling spicy. And the Vikings are extremely good at shutting that down with the tanks in surplus as well. The second factory finishing up TY. Cure's still just on the one factory though. And also TY's plus to attack a fair bit along. So it still looks like advantage TY, but of course, we've seen big comebacks in this series already.
Yeah, we really have, as this army from TY comes out over to the left. Still on the offensive, still looking for any opportunity to just strike and deal even more damage. He has an army to the right as well. And it does just look like TY's map right now. Cure is pinned into his 3 bases, can't really get out. Couple Marines here and there, but I mean, that's just for scouting, whereas TY, he's got 4 armies ready to go at a moment's notice.
Workers revolt there to get rid of that 1 Marine. Soon as +2 finishes, TY instantly starts +3 attack on the bio, and he's throwing in Liberators as well, feeling very confident that he has the air advantage. I'm not sure if he does, though. Cure has a lot of Vikings right now.
Yeah, he really does, and that's going to be his big advantage, right, to break out of this overall and start getting towards a 4th base. Maybe
speaking
not.
of which.
Wow.
Speaking of that 4th, down it goes. Bio TY sharpening on the right-hand side. TY actually got a couple of clumps of units up here to the north.
Again, it's all about opportunity. If those Marines weren't just hanging around, he wouldn't have killed off the 4th base there. These Marines are just going to show up and like get an SCV or 2. I'm just seeing some wildness in this TVT, and this is a nice fight from Q, of course. He outnumbers TY here, so he will chase down these medevacs.
Nice pick off.
A nice play. And finally, Q is a bit more on the map. TY is not in his face anymore.
Yeah, Q's managed to max out, and he does have a pretty beastly army. And he's going to have 2-2 finishing in about 10 seconds. So this might be the right time for Q to get out there, try and use this upgrade timing to do some damage to TY, but unfortunately they'll find that he has similar upgrades. But TY still having a pretty beastly tank count. And enough medevacs to continue to heal that bio. And I think TY might have less Marines here in the army. Oh, it's actually exactly the same Marines with Cure just having a few more tanks.
Yeah, we actually see Cure so continue to push into the center, right, as Vikings and Liberators. Here from TY as well, the air armies are going to be a real competition. TY will have the slight edge on +3 attack timing, so that's something to keep in mind here as well. As both of these players, they're just setting up for the later game. Fusion Core, starports, we've got ourselves extra command centers coming down. And despite the TY advantage early, when it gets into a game like this, it starts to come down to the moves you make now, not the moves you made 5 to 10 minutes ago.
All right, Twitch chat, get comfortable. Make sure that you got a nice big cushion in the back of your chair. Watch your posture.
Hey, if you've not already been comfortable for this series, I feel sorry for you. You know?
If you got to go to the loo, take your phone with you. I think it'll still be on when you get back.
Yeah, absolutely. As Hua comes down the side.
And he gets some volleys off these tanks. Getting 5 or 6 Marines there. Nice scuffle for TY. Doesn't want to extend too much for it. It's a lot of Marines.
Yeah, needs to be a little bit careful as up to the top. TY has a similar setup, but Q also has a similar defense. Too many tanks to really push into. Those Marines would be crazy to believe they could do anything there as TY stimming again. I mean, he's so unhealthy on those Marines.
And no medevacs here with this army either.
Yeah, this Liberator is really nice to target down. He gets TY a few Marines while they come forward to kill the Liberator, but it's way more important for Q to get rid of that Liberator, right? Because otherwise he's going to start losing tanks in position.
Oh, TY's going to try and boost through the defenses, but Cure's ready for that with a lot of Vikings. Oh, just 2 Vikings. He does still get 1 full medevac, though. Nice pick off for Cure.
Wow, that was actually kind of funky. Maybe he could have gone more. For a moment, I thought he was maybe going to try and fake it, and they'd just like boost through, but TY didn't take the bait. As now we see TY still kind of just stuck with those Marines out over to the right-hand side. Extra command center setting up. TY is the one expanding faster. But right now, as they're maxed out, that doesn't matter too much as long as in the end, Q keeps expanding himself and has the money to keep rebuilding as the game goes on. Now, if he gets hemmed in on 4 bases and can't ever make a play towards a 5th, that's when you maybe get into a bit more trouble. That's not necessarily happening just yet. We'll see soon as the next couple CCs are getting ready, and he should start to look to float something out shortly, maybe pushing some tanks up towards those rocks, etc. as Pure makes a play on some siege ship tanks over on this left side of the map.
Oh, this is a lovely catch if he gets all 4 of these tanks. That's really nice secure, and looks like he will get them. Very good pick off there for the Jeanette, or rather the ex-Jeanette Terran. Nearly, sorry, force of habit. 3-3 finishing up for both players. Same upgrades on that bio. Same upgrades on the tanks as well. It is such a similar game, similar supplies to both players. With Cure with a bit of an edge as far as army goes. I like his army a lot more. He's got a bigger air army. He's got advanced, or rather that's TY getting advanced ballistics, but Cure still with the bigger air army. I'm a fan of it.
Yeah, absolutely looking to kind of have this come down to air fights and obviously Liberators. And we saw the Fusion Core come down a little while ago. We might see extra starports again, and we might start heading into a bit of a scenario we had in game number 1 again. Because this really is getting to that kind of stalemate-y, I can't do anything if you don't do anything. And obviously, why would either player want to do anything? Well, maybe TY right now sees an opportunity, using the Liberators for some splash damage, gives him an edge in the fight with the Vikings. Can TY do something with this? May not. Let's find out.
I mean, these Vikings look to be winning this battle, Wardy. They're actually, the Liberators helped out quite a bit. Not only are they higher in hit points, they have that splash like you mentioned. And on the left side, he is clearing up a little bit of that attempt to expand from Cure. So that air advantage that Cure had currently gone, as PY has got 15 Vikings versus 7 here of Cure. And I love these moves from Cure, though, with these small pockets of Marines, relatively inexpensive, when he's just denying mineral patches, denying mining from TY. Oh, a big stim in from the Red Terran, but the tanks are sieged. I think he needs to pull back on that. Easy target.
At the same time, a couple tanks from Q going a bit far forward. He's going to go and drop them because there's no Marines here. TY going for this play, and he's going to take down pretty much all those tanks, and that is massive.
Certainly is, but the Planetary actually assisted quite a bit there on those clopped up Marines. Cure's still doing more damage there on that mineral line. Picks up that medevac looking for a better angle. This is an orbital here, so it cannot fight back. I think it's a great play from Cure to drop right there. This right side Planetary looks like it's misplaced, actually. It doesn't actually have the range to pick off these 2 Marines.
A little bit off there, as you do see a couple of Marines going down. Medevac from Cure still trying to find a way. This is the issue, though. Q didn't get to expand without trading, so now he's struggling to rebuild while TY stays maxed out and is trading better. The air control is huge. Another Viking snipe free for him. Liberators will push forwards. More tanks to be killed. Q has Vikings, but does he have enough to fight? I'm really not convinced he does. And losing Vikings like this will absolutely not fix that.
There's actually an upgrade advantage for TY, and that might be the reason here. Wardy's got +1 on those Vikings as well as the tanks. And he's doing a lot more damage there on that Planetary. Mass repair from Cure.
Yeah, well, at the same time, actually, Q's just ran out of Marines, so TY can actually just push on forwards, and TY's going to come rolling on through. There's the GG as TY looked so dead in game number 2, performed a miraculous comeback, and with that said, game 3 is mine, took control early, and really never let it slip away.
What a series from TY, a previous champion of the Intel Extreme Masters, and he is looking hot today. Securing himself an advancement from this group with a pretty incredible return performance in the last few series. It started off rough though, losing 0-2 in his first series. That was just a warm-up, clearly.